All right, there's one. All right, and there's two. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to. Let me look at my phone.
I don't know
Right
where your
here.
phone is. Did it fall through the crack? I
Doesn't
don't
matter.
know what you did with it, but we're
Anyways,
gonna
good
have to
evening, good
find
evening, good
it.
evening.
There you go.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to another Thursday night edition of
Me kicking over the mic.
Fuck Your Feelings, the show. I am your host, Rob. This is Toshiba. We are running a little later this evening because of a Christmas party. Didn't get too crazy, didn't do too much. I once again reaffirmed that I'm a terrible golfer, and
I thought you did pretty good, honey.
no, not at all. My long drive of the night was like 105 yards, but
Well, I'm so proud of you.
well, I appreciate it. So, needless to say, we're running a little later this evening, and welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't know, do we got any live viewers?
Yeah, just keep
Got a
talking.
couple. If not, thanks for joining. Those that are catch the replay, because we have been getting some traction. Again, not doing big numbers yet, but we are doing numbers, and that's the start.
If you are watching us on Instagram, please also check us out on YouTube and subscribe under the same name, Fuck Your Feelings, the show. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe to our Instagram, which is also Fuck Your Feelings, the show.
Or not, because we don't like it. I don't like Instagram.
Or please do.
It's two different purposes, but the meat and potatoes, I think the better broadcast is on YouTube. So that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I think that I appreciate our growth on YouTube a bit better than I do on Instagram. Um, as a guy, Instagram is more visually cool to me, but we all know what Instagram is really about.
Because that's where all the hoes that you
Other
look
nice
at
shit,
are
man,
on.
that's whatever. But
On
I
Instagram.
didn't make it that way.
I'm just telling you, but that's what it
Anyhow,
is. Why you love you
but
some Instagram.
anyways, yeah, if you want to put it that way, sure. But here we are tonight. For those of you who don't know, the name of the show is Fuck Your Feelings, the show. And the purpose of the show is to change the conversation around Black relationships. We do lean a bit more towards interpersonal, intersexual relationships, but relationships in general. We had an episode, In Laws versus Outlaws, recently. We talk about all of those things because we believe that the key to us changing our community for the better is communication. If we're not having those difficult conversations, we're not really being straight up about what we come for, what's your agenda, state your purpose, sir, then that growth is going to be stagnated. Those changes are going to be more difficult to to see implemented. So tonight's topic is
Love language. Is that real?
is love languages real? I don't even care about love languages. It's just another. It's kind of like Myers Briggs or something like that, like personality type. And isn't astrology enough that we can just like I'll entertain a little astrology, but does it feel like there's a word for everything in 2022?
Yes.
Remember when we were growing up, it was like, what you call it? And now there's a word for everything.
There's a word for everything. So, for those of you who do not know, there are 5 love languages. What Rob and I are going to do tonight, we're going to have a shorter show, but what we're going to do, make it a little fun, is that we're both going to quiz each other. I've already sent you the love language test. You just have to go into your Instagram. So, I'm going to start with quizzing Robert, and he's going to have to answer some questions, and we're going to determine his love language. He's going to ask me questions to determine my love language. I already know what my love language is, but there are 5 love languages. They are Roberto. Okay, the 5 love language. Robert.
Well, I'm gonna take it.
Oh, okay, hold on. The 5 love language are physical touch, acts of service, words of affirmation, quality time, and gifts. So, the purpose of the love language test is to see how you like to be loved. And so, when I do the test, it's going to say, this is how I should love you. And when you do the test, like when you're asking me the questions, it's going to give you the results in terms of how you should love me. And then we're going to briefly talk about it. And we can go from there. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go
I'm
first?
going to go first.
So, you're going to ask me the questions first.
Oh, I was going to just answer them.
No, babe, you don't answer them. I'm going to ask.
That's confusing.
It's not confusing. Can you just go ahead and ask me the questions? This is the whole purpose.
You'll go first and then I'll guess.
Oh,
how do you describe yourself? I am an adult. I am a teenager.
Robert, it's not.
I am taking the quiz for my child. Which one is your answer?
Can you stop being difficult?
That's what you just said too.
Oh my God.
Why we gotta both take it on the same phone?
No, it's because you're being ridiculous.
What
That's
am I
not.
doing?
There you go. Then now these are the questions. It literally was giving you the so we could determine it.
And
Like
that was the first question. I was reading it live.
you're just so ridiculous.
It's more meaningful to me when I receive a loving note, text, email for no special reason from my loved one, or my partner and I hug. Which one?
Hug.
Okay, hug. It's more meaningful to me when I can spend alone time with my partner, just the two of us. My partner does something practical to help me out.
Alone time.
It's more meaningful to me when my partner gives me a little gift as a token of our love for each other. I get to spend uninterrupted leisure time with my partner.
Uninterrupted time.
Okay. It's more meaningful to me when my partner unexpectedly does something for me, like filling my car or doing the laundry, or my partner and I touch.
Touch. You're not doing the laundry.
It's more meaningful to me when my partner puts their arms around me when we're in public. My partner surprises me with a gift.
Arms around in public.
It's more meaningful to me when I'm around my partner, even if we're not really doing anything. I hold hands with my partner.
I'm around my partner. The first one. You said if I'm around my partner, I'll hold hands.
I'm kind of calling cap on that one.
You think I'm saying it's more important to hold hands?
I'm around my partner even if we're not really doing anything.
That's not true. I actually, because you're at least in the room with me.
Yeah, for a little bit. And then you're starting like, why are you over there? So anyways, I'm going to go with your word. And you said I'm around my partner even when we're not doing anything. It's more meaningful to me when my partner gives me a gift. I hear I love you from my partner.
I hear I love you.
Okay. It's more meaningful to me when I stay close to my partner. I am complimented by my loved one for no apparent reason.
Complimented.
You answered that too fast. You know that was a difficult decision for you.
It was not difficult. Yes, I like when you compliment me.
You don't like putting your feet on me?
I do, but if I had to choose, they made me choose. So I'd rather you tell me how much you adore and love me.
That was a tough choice for you. Mm-hmm. It's more meaningful to me when I get the chance to just hang out with my partner. I unexpectedly get small gifts from my partner.
I get to hang out.
It's more. God damn, how long is this quiz?
Babe, it's only a few more
questions. It's more meaningful to me when I hear my partner tell me I'm proud of you. My partner helps me with a task.
Proud of me.
It's more meaningful to me when I get to do things with my partner. I hear supportive words from my partner.
Get to do things.
It's more meaningful to me when my partner does things for me instead of just talking about doing nice things. I feel connected to my partner through a hug.
Do things for me.
Doing nice things?
Yes, yeah, that first one.
It's more mean. Look, do all of the questions start with it's more meaningful?
So just say which one would you prefer?
I hear praise from my partner. My partner gives me something that shows they were really thinking about me.
Well, that would be nice if you did that. showed me you were really thinking about me. So second one.
I'm able to just be around my partner. I get a back rub or massage from my partner.
I would love a back rub or a massage from you. Yes, thank you.
My partner reacts positively to something I've accomplished. My partner does something for me I know they don't particularly enjoy.
The second one.
My partner and I kiss frequently. I sense my partner is showing interest in the things I care about.
The first one.
My partner works on special projects with me that I have to complete. My partner gives me an exciting gift.
Oh, work with me on a project.
I'm complimented by my partner on my appearance. My partner takes the time to listen to me and really understand my feelings.
Oh, we have a fuck your feelings relationship, so I'll go with you compliment me on how I look.
My partner and I share non sexual touch in public. My partner offers to run errands for me.
Non-sexual touch.
My partner does a bit more than their normal share of the responsibilities we share around the house, work related, etc. I get a gift that I know my partner put thought into choosing.
A gift.
My partner doesn't check their phone while we're talking. My partner goes out of their way to do something that relieves pressure on me.
Doesn't check the phone.
I can look forward to holiday because of a gift I anticipate receiving. I hear the words, I appreciate you from my partner.
I appreciate you.
My partner brings me a little gift after they've been traveling without me. My partner takes care of something I'm responsible to do, but I feel too stressed to do all the time.
Gift.
Jesus Christ. My partner doesn't interrupt me while I'm talking. Gift giving is an important part of our relationship.
Oh, is you still asking questions?
Yes, like this is ridiculous.
Okay, hold on. So let me just go through it. Let me just go.
And what am I supposed to do while we're doing all
Okay,
of
just
that?
talk about it. Because it's
Talk about
almost
how
done.
long this damn quiz is and why that's clearly something for females because I'm annoyed just administering the test. Lord knows I would just be just taking that shit just to get it over with.
Yeah, well, Rob is already
So maybe
annoying.
next week we'll be able to give y'all the results because she's gonna be taking this shit until fucking next Thursday, basically. And
It's just
fellas,
so
this is the
sad.
type of silliness that we endure for the women we love. Maybe that should be a love language. How much of your silliness does this man endure? Has he been to a sip and paint with you? Yeah, he loves you.
Really?
No dude going to no damn sip and paint on his own.
Yeah.
I've never had a homie like, yo, bro, I gotta take us to the sip and paint.
Oh my god. Here are the results. My primary love language is
I don't even remember.
okay. So Robert, the five are physical touch, words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation.
Okay, you think that that's my
Mm-hmm.
Your primary love language is words of affirmation.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna take words of affirmation was 29%. And physical touch was 26%, actually tied with quality time. Then acts of service and then receiving gifts were both 10%. So clearly, I like to be told things. Okay, let's see what yours is. We're just going to go through it quickly, babe. I promise you.
Okay.
Because I am curious to know what your love language
It'll
is,
be
because I
nice
knew
if
what
they
mine
at
is.
least changed up the questions. I'm betting it's the same damn question.
No, it's the same. It's the same questions. Of course, it's the same questions because you got to take the same quiz. So you're an adult and you're in a relationship. Okay, so would you rather receive a loving note or a text for no special reason, or we hug?
Hug.
Would you rather spend time alone with me, just the two of us, or I do something practical to help you out?
Practical help out.
I give you a gift as a token of our love, or we spend in uninterrupted leisure time.
Uninterrupted leisure time.
Would you rather me do something for you, like filling up the car or doing the laundry, which I already do, or we touch?
We're killing the quality of the of the I just want to do it
No.
too.
Okay,
The same
so
way
but
you
that's
dating, you
gonna
can
take.
entertain everybody.
But that's going to take forever. So Rob is trying to quickly go through this love languages test. I am very curious to know what Rob's love, like your love language is. Out of the five, I would say that your top two would be physical touch. Like, I think physical touch is going to be your number one. And then the next one would be acts of service. I don't see quality time and words of affirmation or receiving gifts being the top. So for those who
I think quality time, but I don't think what I consider quality time it actually makes it into the definition of what women qualify as quality time. Like again, the Patrice O'Neill joke is like when we're both in the house together, that is quality time to me.
Yeah, well, that's how you feel. Exactly. If you're playing your game Destiny and I'm there, you feel like we're spending quality time where I'm like, but you're not paying any attention to me. However, I do know that physical touch is important to you.
Yeah.
And so, again, I'm going to hold on to mine so you can hold on to my phone when you're done so we can go through them. Because, again, I'm curious. So, for those who are not there, so my love language, according to this love language test, is the first was words of affirmation at 29%. Physical touch and quality time were tied for 26%. Then acts and service and receiving gifts were at the bottom at 10%. I'm really not a big gift person. I enjoy gifts. Do not get it twisted. I like to get gifts, but it's not the most important thing. I really do like compliments. I actually love compliments. I love when Rob compliments me. And I'm a touch person as well. Whereas Rob, I know Rob is a touch person. If I'm not close to Rob at night in bed, like he does not like it. So I am going to be curious to know what his love language is, and then we'll see. Does the love languages even make sense? Because I think then they define it. And even the reason I wanted to do this is because I think one of the questions that I asked Rob, and he's the first man I've ever asked it, and I'm the first woman to ever ask him the question was, how can I love you better? And I don't even know what happened. We were in a conversation and it was very much a fuck your feelings conversation. I'm pretty sure of that. And and again, a fuck your feelings conversation isn't a conversation that's out of anger or anything like that. It's just one of those moments where we're saying to each other,
It's rough a little bit.
oh, I'm actually surprised. So Rob's love language and my love language is exactly the same. So Rob's love language is words. Hold on. I'm going to read them. Anyways, Rob, according to the test Rob just took, his love language is words of affirmation at 30%, where mine was 29%, followed by physical touch at 23%. Actually, physical touch and acts of service are tied at 23%. I could see that. Quality time was 20% and receiving gifts was 3%. Good to know. So
I like when you do the stuff like that, but I think for me to be like up and down off of what you're bringing to me is kind of bass backwards. Like that's just yeah. I think that's if I'm just being curt, I think like gifts is pretty feminine to be honest with you. I don't know a lot of guys running around that be expecting stuff because I think part of being an adult male is realizing that like you like an offensive lineman, like you get more notice for not doing your job than you do for doing it well.
but I also think that one of the complaints I hear men have is she doesn't even think about me, where I am the complete opposite. I'm always thinking about you. It's not very often that I go and buy something for myself and don't return for something for you.
Well, yeah, you're very much like that. Like you actually occasionally get told to stop thinking for me or something like bugging, you doing too much. And so yeah, that's accurate, you know, but Like I said, I think, like I said, I like that they made it. Like it's like a lot of small things, just kind of gifts. But yeah, I don't know a lot of guys that's really like I don't even know. I know dudes that don't get no kind of, they get Happy Father's Day or whatever, but and that's it. And it like they don't feel no kind of way about it other than like it is what it is. Like that's just the way the world works.
And that sucks. So let me just read what the words of affirmation is. And it says, actions don't always speak louder than words. If this is your love language, unsolicited compliments mean the world to you. Hearing the words, I love you, are important. Hearing the reasons behind that love sends your spirits skyward. Insults can leave you shattered and are not easily forgotten. Kind, encouraging, and positive words are truly life giving. Do you feel that that
I think that's
describes
that's
you?
a big part of the fact. Just more so. See, and here's the thing. My advice for the ladies sometimes is, them diss records way more than them compliments, like significantly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like that they put in about how like the negative energy has a extremely hard toll on you because like I know like for most guys like that is a very convoluted feeling to be like assaulted, betrayed, insulted, belittled by the person that you in your mind is like, yo, this is the person I'm supposed to lay it all on the line for. And she over there talking crazy about me right now. That's just extremely damaging. Like if you, I think the probably for a female, one of the number one predicators of being able to be in a long term relationship is being able to know when to shut your damn mouth.
Oh, well, well. Hmm.
That came out a little harsh, but
Well, no, it's funny because we've had the conversation where yeah, there are times that I'm completely upset with you and I don't say what I really think. I cuss you in my head and then I'm fine.
that's so much
Because
better.
because the idea of even saying, and it's never anything harsh like you know what I'm saying, but it's enough to know that our number one rule is no disrespect. And again, I'm not going to say something in that temporary moment that might have a permanent impact, because what I might think is not a big deal for you may be a big deal, right? And so I've learned to be like, go through it in my mind quickly. Is this important enough to say this? Because again, to you it might not be a big deal, but to him he might take it in a wrong way. So I'm not gonna say that. If I have to question it, I'm not gonna say it out loud,
Yeah,
right? And
it's
I
probably
think
good way, a good procedure, a good, a good check to, check and balance of, yeah, because, and like you said, a lot of times stuff comes off, we've had incidents where it's like she didn't, what I said didn't come off the way that I wanted it to, and the way that she took it, or something different from that. And, and there's still, you know, particulates of that lingering around. I was watching, I forgot what the hell I was watching, but it was like a marriage counselor talking about how like, the first year is so important because it kind of reinforces and deconstructs a lot of habits and behaviors that if you don't nip them in the bud early, or you don't address them, or you don't let them be known, you don't communicate them, then they just gonna continue to grow and evolve, and then you're gonna add on just the stuff that life, the changes of life, anyways, and it's easy to get out of hand. And I think we kind of practice, not kind of, I know we practiced that because we both had that mindset of like I'm responsible for the relationship that I got, so you're not gonna have no problem with me saying what it is that I'm looking for, or how I'm reacting to something, or within reason. Like your partner doesn't need to know every single negative thought that you have about them. But at the same time, you can't let someone do something that pisses you off 75 times before you say something about it.
so. That's why, actually I am surprised But I don't know why I'm surprised that your number one was words of affirmation, because we're so very similar
With the
in
power of
that
the
way.
tongue.
Exactly. Because we do understand how powerful words can be. And that's why Fuck Your Feelings was even born.
And here's the thing, we're both very much like-minded. It's like, as far as like this, I don't give a damn what y'all say about me on here. Like, this means nothing to me. Like, but in your circle, with amongst the people that you love and you care about, and they love and care about you, yes, how they feel about you, the words that they say about you, they matter. They cut. If it's important for you to be a quality person, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you just, I'm a POS and I don't care, and I want everybody to know it. Like, oh boy, yesterday you called in, like, well, I ain't on the most wanted list. Like, if that's you.
But I think even to the most hard-hearted person, when they fall in love with that person, they don't want that person talking crap about them.
No,
Like, if you've ever watched the movie Monster, where Charlize Theron starred in Monster, and she played Eileen Warnos, I'm always pronounce her last name, but she played basically the woman who went around and was a serial killer. She killed a whole bunch of men. And how they actually got her to confess was when she felt like the woman she was in love with had been threatened. Her safety had been threatened. And what she did was she confessed because they were going to arrest, or at least she thought they were going to arrest the person she loved. So she didn't give a crap about anything. She didn't care crap about the men. She didn't care about, but that woman, the idea that that woman was going to be harmed by her actions. And I think that's why we have to be mindful, right? When you are loving somebody, are you loving them in the way that they really need to be loved? Because again, a lot of women don't necessarily think of words of affirmation being their partner's number one love language. They'll think about physical touch and acts of service before they think of words of affirmation.
Absolutely. You ever notice, like, that there's so many women that fit the billing of, they talk about, oh, I got that good, I got that wop, I got that glut glut.
No, not the
But
glut
they
glut.
got the vilest
Tongue.
Yeah.
So that same tongue that they're glucking with.
Box is.
Your tongue is nasty.
That tongue is
vile.
tearing him down quicker than
vile.
You can put it on him 8 times a day. You cannot build him up quick enough to compensate for how that tongue can tear a man down. And that's why smart men do not tolerate that. They just get away from it quickly because they understand, like especially in our community where, let's be real, like, I know I'm about to go against the grain, and I know Black mamas are single-handedly the greatest to ever walk the earth.
No, we're not.
And there's no.
Do you know what mom stands for?
Criticism that you can level.
Do you know what the word mom stands for?
What's that?
Master of manipulation. We are great manipulators.
And that's the issue with it sometimes. And
I'm a mom.
And please, Mom, I am not talking about my mother in particular. I want to make that clear, but we are talking about mothers in general.
I'm a mom, so I'd be talking about myself.
It's just, and it's not even for her. It's just, I don't really care about people coming for me. I was just talking about that. So, anyways, but a lot of fellas have dealt with a lot of negative conversation, a lot of negative energy, a lot of negative beatings, tongue lashings, all kind of that from their own mothers. With the comment,
Sorrel and Sage said, Sheba, you're a misogynist. I am not, because I love women. I might be a little sexist, but I'm definitely not. I won't give. She's laughing. I know she mad, but I think that word is so overused these days in feminism 6.5321, wherever we are in the version of feminism. But I might be a little sexist, even as a woman. But I'm definitely not a misogynist.
All those words, but certain things to me,
But I do agree. I think as moms,
Tell
I
them,
do it
no,
all the
tell them.
time. I manipulate my child all the time.
Oh, well, yeah.
All the time.
It
Like I
happens.
know I'm doing
Well,
it.
I'm not even, yeah.
All mothers do it. We
And
do
the
it
point
to
I
get our
wanted to make,
way.
and it's like, and it's, that's why there's a different balance when there's a male in the home because it balances that energy off. There's a masculine and a feminine. And again, it's, you go to a place, let's go over to ASU and the three guy roommates that are juniors.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing but masculine energy in that place. It's nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The bathroom nasty, the kitchen
Moving on.
nasty.
Moving
You
on.
feel what I'm
Yes,
saying?
moving
Like
on.
there needs to be a balance. And the same thing can happen with feminine.
Yeah, there needs to be a
Sugar,
balance.
it can become nasty.
Yeah.
Like it's too much. Like there was a social media clip, shorty. I make sure I tell my son how much I love him, and every day I ask him how you feel about this and how you feel about that. And I'm like, Shaggy, she doesn't understand that that's the absolute worst way to raise a little boy. And I get the fact of like, oh yes, black men got it hard and all of that. But I'm telling you, so if you understand that your son, that no one in the world is gonna give him an inch, and the proverbial he's gonna have to be twice as good to get half as much, then why would you try to soften that for him?
Because she loves him.
Uh,
Instead of giving him words of encouragement, like, again, you are a strong black man, boy, you know what I'm saying? You are raised to be a king. You are going to be the smartest young man that there is. You are powerful. You are all of those words of affirmation. Remember, that's what I did the first time with Grant. I bought him those books to affirm words for him.
Those are things that are important. It makes me think of, I don't know if y'all have seen the show Swagger, but like the
Swagger.
mama in that, she's got her masculine energy. I would definitely
Swagger.
not want to date her, but she channels that into raising her son very well. And is there additional motivation for all of that? Maybe, maybe not. That's not the point. And does his little sister suffer from that some? Absolutely. But we've discussed on that. Like, as the old saying goes, men raise their sons and cherish their daughters. Women cherish their sons and raise their daughters. Like opposite parenting relationships tend to be easier because it's not your job to teach. You don't see the negative sides of yourself in that individual quite the same way. You know what I mean? When you're dealing, like with father's dealing with his son, he's trying to iron out the shit that he wished somebody would have ironed out in him. And I think the same thing happens in motherhood. As a mother, you're trying to iron out the things that you could have used guidance and improvement in. But it's like, me trying to raise Danny to be a quality woman like that.
Good luck.
Because I don't got insider information.
Good luck.
You know what I'm saying? And what I know, like a lot of y'all be like, I beat men up and I bench press 300 and all this other stuff, but you don't have insider information.
Okay, you've gone completely off topic. You've lost me at this point. Good. Can you come back to love languages?
That's what we're talking about.
Okay, go on.
Is
okay.
Love. So words of affirmation, words are the most important part of communicating love anyways. Like it's almost, like I said, I'm not a big fan. I would almost say like appreciation. Just love language is nothing else but appreciation.
Why do you think we missed that memo? Why do you think a lot of women miss that memo? Because you're 46 now. We've been together since you were 43, 44, 40, whatever. 43. We'll go with 43. And 43 years, I was the first woman to ever look at you and say, how can I love you better? Right? Why as women have we missed that memo, that words of affirmation potentially could be more important to men than the physical touch, because again, we hear so much, I got that good, he with me because that good. And you know, when a woman gets into an argument using her very vile tongue, she's like, you won't get none of this. Like, we've seen those things where a woman will point and do all of that, and the man's just like, I don't even want to be around you because you're vile.
Yeah, I don't think enough women have been taught that because enough of them haven't seen it. Like, too many women look at men like basically like kind of like vending machines. Like, you got all the snacks and shit in there, and they just want to get what they want to get. But what do you gotta? Don't you have to put something into a vending machine to get something out of it?
Yes. So let me ask you a question. And again, I don't know if you can go back to that moment, but just thinking about a moment of me asking that question, how did you take that? How did it make you feel for me to look at you and said, you know, how can I love you better? I know that I'm loving you, but how can I love you better?
I could take that as, again, that's a very logical, thoughtful question. And again, back to the point of, I think that so many women have been raised and kind of taught that a man is something to be kind of used. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? Why would I ask him how to love him better? Why would I ask him how can I do something better for him? It's about how he can do better for me. Like, Bill Burr had the joke. He was like, you know, him and his wife celebrated their 25th anniversary. And, you know, she was saying, you know, all of the things that they, you know, been through or whatever, and how they were going to continue to grow, and things that he could do moving into the next 25 years and etc. And he's like, yo, for 25 years we've been together, and the whole time we've been working on me.
When are we gonna start working on you?
Like, and I think a lot of men kind of feel like that and have felt that way in multiple different relationships.
So for you, hearing those words from me, again, me not even knowing, because even after 2 years, I didn't think your love language is words of affirmation.
Logical. Well, at least you're trying, you're thinking about it. It matters to you. It's important to you.
That's pause. That's it. It matters to me.
Again, I know many men feel like they don't matter, especially if their production were to fall off. You know what I mean? I know many men, however, that sentiment of, man, what would it be if my production fell off? Like, would this person really be by my side like that? I know guys that don't even feel like their kids would ride for them if their production fell off. You know what I mean? So it's cold out here on this side. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I don't think the line is long for women trying to be men.
No.
But different topic, anyways. So
let me ask you this now, because I know you didn't necessarily like the idea of this love languages test. Now that we've gone through it, as long as it was, and you've taken it and you've seen the information it spit out, would you encourage couples to take this test together?
It's a conversational piece. It will, especially if y'all don't talk about this type of stuff easily, then definitely do something like that. But earlier in the show, I said something. It's like, you know, how much of your silliness does he entertain? Like,
that's a love language.
That's a love language. That's how most men are. That's their number one. How they demonstrate love is he tolerates a lot of your foolishness, woman. Like, if he didn't really care about you, he wouldn't even be around you. But with that being said, yeah, I think it's a good conversational piece. I think that all men have to do silly shit with their women. It's like, it's been since the beginning of time. You know what I mean? Like, we have to put something into you to get out of you what we want as well.
So let me ask you this. Why do you think a lot of us women will put more of an emphasis on the physical touch of a relationship than and it's off your phone. I was going to read the definition of physical touch, but I can pull it up. But why do you think so much of us put emphasis on the physical touch more than we deal with the words of affirmation and recognizing again the power of our tongue?
Because that's just the way that women have taught other women to be. It's like you got a lot of 304s out here with, because they're not showing the whole scenario of it. You know what I mean?
Elaborate.
I like seeing the retired porn girls having their interviews about how they're having hard times with relationships. It's like, duh. Yo, son, you got visual evidence of getting ran through roughshod. Like, that's not going to be easy for most dudes to take. You'd be like, oh, you no, it's just against a man's programming. He doesn't. No man enjoys seeing his woman. Well, let me not say that, because there's fetish, but those are fetishes.
Yeah, they're
Those
not
are
the they're not the
that's
mass.
not the norm.
Yeah, it's not the mass.
Men don't like seeing their woman get dominated by another man. Most men feel like, oh, if he can dominate you, then you're his. Duh. So practicing your gluck gluck skills, maybe you're thinking of the power of your mouth in the wrong way. That might sound extremely vulgar, but again, and men love oral sex. Love it.
So
But we hate getting talked to shady by our women more than we like oral sex.
Sorry to interrupt that. That was a good point. So Sorlin said just tolerating someone's foolishness is considered an act of service. That was a good one. But
that's exclusive to the fellas. Well, no, it's not. No, because there's a lot of women that pull up with foolishness and
you've got some foolish tendencies
and stuff. That's cool.
But he said, "Oh, that's cool," as if he doesn't.
But I think that that's kind of just that's the 20%.
Well, that's the fact. That, and again, it's the reason I even wanted to do this show is because, again, I think sometimes we are going into relationships, and a lot of us, the world has become so selfish, and it's all about self-interest, right? You're like you said, what can I get out of this relationship? And when the relationship no longer serves me, I move it aside and I want a new relationship. And then you go through these relationships over and over.
On what you actually have to
absolutely
do to maintain something. But that's kind of, to me, like buying a brand new $100,000 vehicle, never changing the oil, not just doing the bare minimum, just putting gas in it, driving it like that until it just breaks down, and then when it's time, like when it's not drivable anymore, then you're gonna go get a new car.
So yeah, that's ridiculous. And so something that just came in my mind, and because this is the world we now live in, and people like Kevin Samuels and Kendra G has really showed that this is the way we now live in. This is why a man coming into a role as a stepfather and a woman not appreciating the place. Give me a second, let me, because I know you've been there. So, because I want the ladies to understand that. So, a man comes in and is replacing the man you gave the highest honor to. And so he comes in and his money is being split now with children that are not his. And I'm saying children because I think most men can deal with one child, but you start having multiple children, especially when there were multiple men. Now this man has come in and you decide that you're going to tell him in a moment of outrage or anger or whatever that he ain't shit. That, or disparage him in some way with your vile tongue. When the reality is he's looking at you like your choices show that you ain't shit. Because you made choices over and over again that most men, but because I loved you, I've taken on a responsibility that realistically you bring 4 mouths to the table, I bring 1.
The best way I can put it with that is like, once them words fly out your mouth, you can't ever pull them back in. You can apologize, you can be contrite, you can say sorry for the next 50 years, but on most men, that's how men are wired. On a certain level, we understand when people tell you who they are, tell you what it is, believe them. And I mean, how many paternity court episodes you watched
I've
where
watched quite a
dude
few.
is like, "Yo, why don't you think that you're the father?" She told me. She gets mad and says it ain't my kid.
And that's enough. She said it. What more do you want? Like, what more evidence do I want?
So after saying something like that to a man, you expect him to show up with a 50 box of diapers the next morning?
Yes, they do. Because I was mad.
Then you don't give any credit or any thought or any emotion to how he feels, and that's how you do stuff like that.
And so understanding that that's how he wants to be loved, right? Because I think that we are so quick to love someone in a way that comes easy for us. I want to love you in the easiest way. Most people want the easiest path to success, right? What's it? Here is, I have give you two options: the easy path or the hard part. On the easy, they won't tell you what's on the easy path at the end of the easy path, and they won't tell you what's at the end of the hard part. A lot of people are going to go for the easiest path, but the easiest path doesn't necessarily give you the best results. And so if they said, do you want good results or do you want great results? I'm going to say I want great results, but the path for great results is harder. And so I think I can love you in a way that comes easy to me because it's easy for me. When I have to start putting in work, most people go, oh, that's too much work to put into someone. Where because we had both come to a conscious place in our lives that we said when we got together, this is it for us. This is the last relationship. This is the end of the road. If we can't make this shit work, we ain't got nothing. They're like, they ain't nothing in the streets for us. So I think knowing that we both made, and I can tell you, I can speak for myself personally, I made a conscious decision to say, I want to make sure that I'm loving this man in a way that he receives and feels appreciated, respected, honored, loved, and at peace in this relationship. Because the moment I know you're not at peace, we're done. The moment there's a disrespect, you're done. The moment you're dishonored, which is part of disrespect, you're done. So, yes, I'm loving you, but how can I love you better? Am I loving you in a way that honors you? Why I don't know if it's a pride thing for us ladies. I don't know if Rob said, we have been taught this fairy tales. Our mamas, our new generation, grandmothers are saying, you don't need no man, men ain't shit, all of these things, where you're saying that, where you're not able to realize. But in this place of broken homes and people coming together, bringing all of their other bullshit, this is not the day and age where we're coming in pure, where a man was getting a virgin bride and she was untouched and she had his children and only his children and he raised them until death. Now we're coming in with these blended families and all of our baggages and all of our bullshit, and we're also not loving our partner in a way that they can receive and feel good in that relationship.
Yeah, I mean, especially like for a lot of there's many fellas that the only words of life that ever be spoken to them are by the woman that they choose for themselves. So if she's not gonna be doing it, if she's gonna be trying to tear him down, then what chance he got? You know what I'm saying?
Can you come back from that moment of hurt?
What do you mean?
Can a man, so I mean, okay, let me spin the question. What do you think are the most harmful words a woman can say to a man?
Um,
Or harmful phrases?
Anything along the lines of putting him beneath another man. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times it's, my daddy, my brother. Like, if there is a man of any positive influence in her life, then you're always short of that man. You know what I'm saying?
Really? Even including her daddy and her brother?
Oh, I've heard some chicks say some crazy.
No, but here's the thing. I am being a daddy's girl. Rest in peace, daddy. Being a daddy's girl, I actually never thought of me saying, well, my daddy would never do it that way. Or you should probably talk to my daddy because he knows how to do it better. I would never think,
My daddy never had trouble paying bills.
right? Like, I would never think that saying it about my dad. I would think now if I try to compare you to Trayanne's dad or my ex-husband, that is a crossing of a line. Like, I would never do that. But I would never, and I've never done it, thank God, in our relationship, but I would never think that saying something, because I'm thinking something positive about my dad, not necessarily something negative about you. But in reality, it is something negative about you because I'm saying that my daddy would never, or my brother would always do this. I don't understand why you can't. Without saying, I don't understand why you can't, even if I don't say those words. So anything.
Like, tell me you don't respect me without saying you don't respect me.
Is saying, oh, so that happened? Oh, that never happened with my daddy. And I talked to my brother said he doesn't understand why you even did it that way.
And that's why, and I think men expect too much from women on a certain level because, I can't lay all my problems at your feet. Because
I don't, please
part
don't.
Of it
please
that
don't.
you just don't get.
Please don't do that.
You feel what I'm saying?
I don't want it. It's too much for him.
So that's why I love when women are always like, oh, he's not vulnerable. What do you mean, vulnerable? Or he's not being a bitch with you like that?
Yeah, go cry in the bathroom and then come back.
Yes, like there's certain things that even if he could communicate it to you, you would never understand, and vice versa. You trying to explain your menstrual cramps to me is like, I won't.
You're just like, oh,
I know that shit hurt. I definitely know it hurt, but like what? Having bad gas and you can't pass it for 6 days or something like that. Like, that sounds awful, but I don't even have an experience to kind of, and that's why that's why y'all hate rejection so much, you know what I mean? But every man has learned to, any man with a woman has learned to not only, move past rejection, but to, kind of kick it in the nuts. Like, look, dude, you as a man, you're gonna get told no way more than you're gonna get told yes. And it's messed up because it's like, as a woman, it's almost the opposite. As a female growing up, you get told, like, don't want to tell you no to nothing until y'all start getting old and mean and
not old and mean.
Not
old and mean.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole.
So, in interest of time, we got a few minutes. We're gonna wrap it up. What are your thoughts now after taking this love language test? What is your advice to couples or people looking to become couples about understanding the love language?
I think that's something early on y'all should sit down and talk about. And I think that's something y'all should revisit periodically, because I think just because that's your love language now, I think your love language might change depending on your arc or your period in life or your season or whatever. And I think that's all cool. As long as y'all on the same page about it, that's the most important thing. And I think that another probably additional way to look at it is it's a two-way street. It's how you show love is one thing, and how you receive love is something else. You know what I mean? Like, words of affirmation, but I'm not, again, I'm very good at not speaking negatively, but I have room for improvement on speaking positively.
Yes,
you know
do.
What I mean? And I acknowledge that, and I work on that, and I get that, just because, we all have our struggles.
And I would say about it, yes, I believe in love languages. I think it is important to understand, like Rob said, how your partner receives love. And I think every couple, especially every woman, should do what I did and ask your man, because you will be surprised that he's going to be floored if you ask him, okay, babe, how can I love you better?
I'm running around capping.
Am I
making up stuff.
who?
I'm just talking.
What did you
So
say?
you have them running around cabin just asking that man, just saying it to try to make him think, oh, she really cares. And don't mind his ass up.
I'm so confused about what you just went in. I don't. What are you talking about?
Said you're gonna have a lot of females running around here saying that just is like gaslighting.
No, but I don't think. Here's the thing: if the manosphere is thinking that women are inherently selfish, and I'm just saying, if the manosphere, which is the sphere of men, and all men belong in the manosphere, whether you believe in what they're saying or not, it's a sphere that men, like there is a woman's sphere, and I'm in it because of the virtue that I am a woman.
There, but overall, we need a new leader.
Right, but if that's the idea that it's thought that women are inherently selfish, a selfish woman isn't going to ask a man that she's not serious about, how can I love you better? Because it then forces her to love him better.
Or he's looking at you like you just asked me that. You don't give a damn.
Well, then they're in the wrong relationship. So that's going to uncover something. You're very skeptical these days. Like, thank God we're together, because these streets would be hard for you. I'm sorry. Do not go out in these streets. These streets are going to be hard for you. Y'all think you can get Robert after me? It ain't going to happen. I have made it difficult. Right?
One shot, one kill, baby. One shot, one kill.
These streets would not be safe if Robert is single again. So try if you can, but like it ain't gonna be good for you. But
sniper gang, one shot, one kill.
Okay, Mr. Skeptical. Back to what I was saying. Ladies who love their men and care about their men, ask your men genuinely how you can love him better and start implementing the things that you say, because again, just because you are loving him doesn't mean that you're loving him in a way to receive. And do not assume that all men feel like loving is sex, because it's not. Because at some point in our life, the sex is going to go and you need more. You can't tell him he ain't shit, but then try to give him the whop.
I'll tell you something that's almost universal about men, at least men with a backbone. When he's upset with you and you try to physical touch, he's more pissed off, because in his mind, you think you can use physicality. Like sex is not a reward and a punishment. Like if he get the fit, and men don't commit to sex. I keep saying that. So like, it's not the weapon y'all think it is, but it is a weakness, definitely, because yes, men are. The box is man's kryptonite, yes, but that kryptonite getting weak these days.
Well, I mean, and once they're off of it, all them promises that they were making during the is done.
What they call it? Post-nut clarity. And with
that, you know what? We're gonna leave it with that remark.
Like, damn, I shouldn't even did this.
Not post-nut clarity.
No, we have our own. We go, man. I love that women think that men don't have feelings. That's how we get. That's like thinking someone's dumb and they're like Albert Einstein. They're over there like, okay, sure, keep thinking that.
So men get some post-nut clarity, and then they're like,
that's when the true scale of 1 to 10 comes out.
Oh Jesus!
There's like a horny. What would you rate it? 1 to 10? He'd be like, oh, 8.5. After sex, he might be like
5.
5
at best.
Right.
Robert. Okay, we're gonna do 2 questions because we're gonna wrap up the night. Robert's had 2 beers. I should have known that. I should have known. Yeah,
he cannot drink liquor no more.
Okay, no, he cannot. Moving on. What's your first question?
Which of us is most likely to have a sexually
What? She think it's me?
Because I'm not even in that energy space. Like I've never wanted to be like a P star. So like, I'm not one of those dudes that was like.
No, it's definitely me. It's definitely me. It's not human. I'm glad you were so quick on it. I tried to be coy, but it's definitely me. Give me. Give me. Oh my God. So this question is, which of us is most likely to get fired for going off on a coworker? Also me. Also definitely me. And thank God I really don't have those worries anymore. Thank you, Robert.
If you were the president of your country, what would you want to change? Ooh, y'all would be mad at me. First, executive order mandatory DNA testing for every child born. Mandatory paternity testing. It'll clean up society so much, I think.
What's executive order number 2?
Financial abortion. I'll clean this shit up.
What is a financial abortion?
If you don't want the baby, you have a choice, right?
Yes,
I should have a choice too.
I've heard that
So if
said.
you want to say, hey, I'm gonna have this baby, I don't care what you think, I should say, knock
That-
yourself out.
and I'm not gonna pay
Financial
for it.
abortion. Push the button. Yo, like we had the conversation. I told her I was not with this shit. I'm not about to have no family with you. But again, that would but I know there's still one night stand babies, and we just had this, the chicks went to Miami on spring break and came back pregnant, talking about they don't even know who the daddy is and stuff like that. Like, clean all that shit up. There's no incentive for no dumb shit like that.
There is that. Okay. If we were a crime couple, what would be our thing?
It had to be something like, because you are not.
I am not a
You
criminal.
are not.
I am not built for criminal life.
Something very like I would not trust her to be my getaway driver for jaywalking. To be honest with you, she'll be all that. I saw the
I am not.
Yo, y'all know the double up video with Nipsey Hussle? She is Lauren London.
That's for life of crime.
I
am not.
Definitely leave me hanging.
I am not built. I don't even. What do you think our thing would be? Because I am not built for life of
I
crime.
would not include you with any criminal enterprise. You would be completely firewalled from that shit.
Not. I am not built for a life of crime. Charlotte State said it would be scamming men for money and you luring them in, Rob.
Oh, okay.
Because it would have to be a crime that it's not really a crime. Because I'm not built for, I'm just not. Every time I'm like, oh no, like, I couldn't, no drug dealing, no none of it.
They
Like,
can send the junior interrogator It's his second day. He just training, but he gonna break you.
Leave me alone. You know what? We have time for one more each. Shut up. Leave me alone. And I am very proud that I am not built for a life of crime.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to realize that the person you care about she's not a snitch because you just can't let her know nothing. Like you have to be a participant to snitch. You involve her in a crime, you're a dumbass.
Shut up, Robert.
If you could travel back in time, which year would you visit and why? My imagination says I would want to go back to like prehistoric times and see dinosaurs and shit like that, but that's also a very dangerous time. I would hope that I could I could just stay in the ship and kind of watch and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, time travel going backwards for black men is not really a attractive idea.
No, so you better travel back
for worse and worse and worse treatment. So
yeah, you need to.
I'll go see the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I
50s,
thought you
1900s, definitely not no 1700s. Like, yeah, I'm good, man. Like,
you're good where you are. Okay, so you're really not traveling back at all. Okay.
I think it would be traumatic.
Okay, so this is a long question, but it's a good last question. Your significant other tells you that they were as close as possible to physically cheating, but thought of you and came home. What's the first thing you say to them?
That's your question.
I'm dramatizing the moment you tell me that you were close to cheating and thought of me, and I would say, that's good. Clearly, you like your life.
That's such a girly question. You clearly wrote that one. Why would you confess? Like, why would you tell the cops I had the gun? I drove up to the bank and I was about to rob it, but I changed my
But how many times do people have those little outbursts, right? Like they have a moment, like, here's the thing. This is the setup. Here's the setup though. Like you're out there doing the thing, you get close, you're like, shit. You come home and your partner has done the sweetest thing for you. Like you come home and I've like run a bath for you or done just something that for whatever reason, that's the day I decide to do this. I'm rubbing you down. You feel guilty as hell. Like I cannot believe what I was about to do to this woman. You're like, shit, babe. Fuck.
You don't have to tell your partner all your thoughts.
Well, that is true.
You did not transcend the physicality with this person. It was just thoughts.
No, but you were close to it. So you were probably in the room with the woman, or I was in the room with the man.
About it.
But yeah, but maybe we got close, but I didn't give him the buns, as you say.
What do you mean by close? That's where you're starting to play games.
But that's what it says. Like, you were physically, let me repeat the question, because sometimes you're not listen. Your significant other, listen, your significant other tells you that they were as close as possible to physically cheating, but thought of you and came home. What's the first thing you say to them? The reason that his penis didn't enter my vagina was because I thought of you. So Soren says, I'm out, peeps, EXO, been fun.
Yeah, we're about to be out too.
So it's it would
like,
not
as
be
close as possible. Like you should have went out and did that shit because about the same damn thing to me.
Kind of the same result. Because why are you telling me? I feel you. It's like, don't get it twisted. I feel you because why? You should have took that one to the grave. You didn't do it. Why are we talking about it? Because now, thank you. Because now, every time you leave the house, I'm side-eyeing you. Thank you. I'm side-eyeing you. Right. Exactly. So keep it to yourself. If you don't.
You know, like, you might not get no buns, but you get your little tuggy tugs. Like, what? Like, who would want that? You know what I mean? Like, you know what? Yeah, come on, man.
So
I got a rose in my pocket. I didn't do nothing. You did something.
Oh Lord, I should look that question out. Anyways, before we go, I want to make
your partner's silliness.
Before we go, I would like to thank our sponsor, Sorrel and Sage. Please make sure that you reach out to Sorrel and Sage on Instagram at Sorrel and Sage CA or their website at shopsorrelandsage.com. They make the most amazing natural products, and she does it by scratch. Make sure to check out the Shea butter that is good for hair and for skin. Robert.
Nothing. I'm tired. Happy Thursday, y'all. See y'all next week. We'll be back to normal. Normal time, normal schedule. And like I said, had a party to go to. So thanks for joining. Thanks for watching on the replay. Hit the follow button on Instagram. Hit the like and subscribe button on YouTube. We very much appreciate you. Send us comments, send us questions, send us concerns, blocka, whatever shit it is. Blocka. Whatever. We want to hear from you. Peace.
And like I like to say, bring a little fuck your feelings into your life and into your relationship because it may just make you stay together. Until next week, we out, we gone, bye-bye. Deuces. And bye to you, YouTube. We appreciate everybody for watching. And we are out. Ciao.